My Father's house. Yep. I'm telling you, there's just nothing quite like Father's house. I hadn't found any place like it. But we're looking at Abram, and he has just told God something about Damascus. And now, the Lord God, in this vision, is going to tell Abram something. The word of the Lord came to him saying, "This man will not be your heir, but one who will come forth from your body, he shall be your heir." And he took him outside and said, he's outside now, and he said, "Now look toward the heavens and count the stars." And he said to him, "So shall your descendants be." Then he believed in the Lord, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. In other words, he looked at the sky and he believed what God said would come to pass. Yep. Kind of like smart men ought to do. I mean, this is not his first day to talk to God. Won't be his last either. And then he believed, and he said to him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of the Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess it." He brought him out to possess it. He's going to possess it. Yep. He's going to possess it, folks. And he said, "Lord God, how may I know that I will possess it?" Now, that's a pretty good deal. He asked the Lord God, "How am I going to know?" If you want to know how he's going to know, it's in chapter 15 of Genesis. "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer and a 3-year-old female goat and a 3-year-old ram and a turtle dove and a young pigeon." Abram has got his instructions. And it's going to be up to Abram to do what the Lord had told him. And he brought all these to him and cut them in two and laid each half opposite the other, but he did not cut the birds. And the birds of prey came down upon the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. I don't know how many birds came. It really doesn't matter, does it? And we don't know what kind of birds they were, other than they were birds of prey. But Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, terror and great darkness fell upon him. And God said to Abram, he is in a state here that's just been explained to you. And he hears some words. "Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs. They will be enslaved and oppressed 400 years. He hadn't even got a baby yet. and his offspring are going to be oppressed for 400 years. But I will judge the nation whom they will serve, and afterward they will come out with many possessions. As for you, Abram, you will cease to exist. Folks, I hope you don't believe that's what God said. There are some people, evidently they can't read, because they think, that the dead are dead. According to what I'm seeing here, they're just, let's just see what it says. I will judge the nation. You shall go to your fathers in peace. Abram, you will go to your fathers in peace. Now you want to know who the fathers of Abram were. You go back and look in the history book, and you see that it goes all the way back up to a son of Noah. Fathers. Fathers of children. And the land is being populated. I mean, it was the Lord God that told and blessed Noah and his 3 sons. And he just told, the Lord God just told Abram, what? You shall go to your fathers in peace, and you will be buried at a good old age. Then in the fourth generation, they will return here. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet complete. In other words, God is waiting for something to be completed that Abram was not aware of. But he has been made aware of it. And on that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. This land belongs to Abram. This land will belong to Abram forever. He's not dead yet. He's been told he's going to die. But the Lord Most High, the God of heaven and earth, is making something known to him. The Kenite, the Kenizzite, and I don't know how to pronounce these words, and some more. And then we're going to get to chapter 16. Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no child. And she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarah said to Abram, now behold, the Lord has prevented me from bearing. Please go into my maid, perhaps I will obtain children through her. So Abram did it. Now, things are progressing, and Abram did it. After Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abram's wife Sarah took Hagar, the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. Now, Abram has a wife given to him by his wife. And God is not going to kill either one of them. No. And he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. So Sarai said to Abram, "May the wrong done me be upon you. I gave my maid into your hand. But when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her sight. May the Lord judge between you and me." So Abram said to his wife Sarai, "Behold, your maid, who you gave me for a wife," he doesn't say that, but that's, you can understand, "is in your power. Do to her what is good in your sight." So Sarah treated her harshly, and she fled from her presence. Folks, this was years ago. This really happened years ago. And it's all in the history book. I got the history book right here in front of me. I'm reading from the history book. And it just happens that the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, can and does, command angels. And angels are messengers. Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. He said, "Hagar, Sarah's maid, where have you come from and where are you going?" Now, folks, I am sure that she is not dreaming here. I mean, she's not, tranced out. She's not drugged up. And she just simply tells him, "I am fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarai." Then the angel of the Lord gave her some instructions. Now, if the Lord God gives you instructions, I suggest you follow them. If an angel is sent by the Lord God to give you instructions, I suggest you follow them. And the angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit yourself to her authority." And the angel of the Lord said to her, "I will greatly multiply your descendants so that they will be too many to count." The angel of the Lord said to her further, "Behold, you are with child, and you will bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has given heed to your affliction. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. And he will live to the east of all his brothers." The directions are there. This is going to happen as the angel has said. Now this man is going to be born. He's going to live, and he's going to die right where the angel of the Lord said he would. Then she called on the name of the Lord, who spoke to her, "You are a God who sees." And for she said, "I have even remained alive after seeing him." Therefore, the well was called something another, and Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, Hagar bore Ishmael.